For now, I'm on a hiatus with WWE.
Okay, well, thank you for inviting us to your home.
Yeah, I very rarely do that unless it's on an app or something.
Wow. Well, it was on an I totally swiped right.
Yeah, to be fair.
And here we are. Oh,
Answer
wow.
the DMs. Rarely that happens.
Wow.
In public.
You're just like, come on over. I'm feeling really tired. It's not feeling like going out tonight.
Yeah, maybe just stay in.
Yeah, I got a great bottle of wine.
Yeah.
But
And then you could have something too.
But this must be nice for you. It's one of the 3 days a year you're actually at your house.
Yes, yeah, but right now I'm doing a few days at my house either way. But yes, very rare.
You got the Rumble Sunday, Raw Smack. Everything's here, in town, so you don't have to be.
That's true.
Traveling on the road like you usually are.
Right. That's very true. And as of now, contractually, what's the date?
It is January 25th. 6th right now.
26. So
yes.
Technically, I'm still under contract. Yes.
Okay. Wow.
But I am not scheduled to be at the Royal Rumble tomorrow.
Oh wow.
I have a show afterwards at Stand Up Live.
You're on a whole bunch of posters. You know that?
No, I didn't know that. Well, the likeness is there. So.
Oh, okay. When are you not under contract anymore?
I'm not so sure, but as of right now, I still am. And so as of now, just my booking tomorrow will be at Stand Up Live afterwards.
Okay, well then we can talk about that. Yeah. Stand Up Live. It's very close to the hotel I'm staying at.
Yes, that was the whole plan. Phoenix is a really cool place to get a lot of stand-up. There's several clubs. They're always fun. They're always doing different promotions and things. And they all reached out because they know the WWE's audience.
Yeah.
And they said, can we do something that goes along with the Rumble? And I found the place that's 2 blocks away from the baseball stadium where the Rumble's going down. So all you got to do is enjoy the show, cheer or probably boo whoever wins, and then walk on over and have a great time because it's DZ and Friends show, which means a bunch of WWE superstars in town, other wrestlers, surprise guests, and that's what makes these shows way more fun than any other one.
To be fair, there's no better place to have this stuff going on than Phoenix because you've got the baseball stadium, the basketball arena, and the convention center all within 1 block.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The downtown area is a pretty cool thing. You got a nice tilted kilt down there that do grilled wings. I'm a big fan of those. And that's right connected with the comedy club. It's a good area.
So I think the most serious question is who has better wings, Tilted Kilts or Hooters?
I could never, you know what? They're both great, and I mean this completely honestly. The smoked wings at Hooters with hot sauce, and they'll sometimes sauce them and throw them back on the grill for you and char them again on the outside. Are fantastic.
So when we hung out last year at WrestleMania, you had just re-signed something. You were in the middle of doing some contract stuff. I thought that was a 2-year deal. What happened?
Well, everything. It depends. It becomes a gray area because I have a weird life even for a wrestler. So as of now, there's a couple different handshake agreements involved in some things. Sometimes it's not written on paper. So I've been very able to do outside projects, movies, shows, comedy, and a bunch of different things with my brother, which is really fun. And because of never besmirching the WWE's name in any way and just doing positive things, they let me do more and more and more. So I'll be continuing to do some things like that.
And your brother's in town, and he's also, on the show with you?
Yep, he's one of the friends for DZ and Friends tomorrow, and he's going to do some kind of weird skit thing that sets this show apart in a different way from just stand-up comedy and people going. Not only do you get surprise guests and some cool things, he goes, he does the Upright Citizens Brigade stuff and workshops characters, and he's going to do something cool like that out there. So
I can't help but notice, and everyone else has seemed to notice, that your name on Twitter is no longer Dolph Ziggler.
Right. I noticed that.
Should I call you Nick?
No one should ever call me, but you can call me Nick. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's a little bit, like I said, I'm doing more and more and more. And say I were to do next week, in LA, go do a show on a network, I would be doing that not because of they saw the drop kick that I did. It would be because of me earning a position in that job. So more and more things will be, not Dolph Ziggler related. So got to do a little bit of business on the side. So I
don't imagine you own the Dolph Ziggler name.
No, impossible. Yeah. So to do some other things and. Like I said, sometimes because of when it comes to these comedy shows, because of WWE, this following comes out and sees it, and that is without a doubt, and that's the cool part of it. But when it comes to wow, we really liked your read on this Shakespeare play, and they go, was it because you're Dolph Ziggler? No, it's because Nick Nemeth's pretty awesome at a bunch of stuff that he does. So you go, okay, great. So you got to start clarifying here and there.
So you're really good at Shakespeare, is what you're saying?
I own
Can you
Shakespeare.
give us a little soliloquy
Absolutely
here?
not. You know what I used to do? I used to know some King Lear lines. And
I'm sure you remember some.
I can't. I used to know a bunch of quotes, and I can't think of one right now. I really can't.
Everybody knows to be or.
Oh yeah. Not hit a 3D. How does it go?
Oh wow, yeah.
I forget.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm more of an improv guy, but
Okay,
still.
well, that's what we're rolling with here.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is all improv.
let's go
You
with
see
it.
all the notes I've written down here?
Oh, the sweat
really-
smeared mine off.
The pro wrestling tees. WWE is okay with you having a shop on pro
Yeah,
wrestling
so once again with that name clarification, Dolph Ziggler is not selling bootleg WWE merchandise out of his trunk.
Right.
Nick Nemeth and his brother Ryan Nemeth are selling T-shirts to support different comedy causes and different things on the side. So yeah, it's all about Dolph Ziggler is an awesome brand and it's so great. But like I said, when I'm doing some different projects as Nick Nemeth, it's great to be able to differentiate between the two.
So we're kind of talking around it here a lot. Does this mean you're not going to be in WWE anymore?
Oh, I can't really answer that, and I don't want to make some fake thing or some sly thing for now. I'm on a hiatus with WWE. It took me 10 years to get a weekend off, and this is it. So we'll see where it goes. It's very interesting. Like I said, there's a handshake different thing than what's on paper, and I've given everything, and we'll see if there's more for me to give. I'll be happy to be a part of it.
Because there's reports that WWE wants to keep you around, but not in the ring. They want to keep you around backstage, maybe as a producer.
If WWE wanted to keep me around, it would be to be in the ring for now.
Okay.
Producing, I could see happening 10 years down the line, but I don't know why I wouldn't be doing some other stuff first. It's a great thing, and there's a lot of people who are good at teaching and giving back, and I love pulling people aside, or if they come up to me at work. Doing that full time, being in basically the best shape of my life, I wouldn't be able to do it, I don't think. Knowing that I'm no, here, let me go do this for you. And you're like, no. It's one day down the line, that could be something, but I'm very much not interested in that.
I've known you for, I think, 8 years now. We've been doing, so I just had 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Oh, wow.
That's very cool.
Thank you so much.
And I wasn't even sarcastic, because I could have been hey, 100,000, that's cool, man. I remember my first year.
Mostly because of you. Seriously. I've done
Well, now I'm glad I didn't sarcastic it up. Yeah, I'll take the credit for it.
15 or 20 interviews that we've done together.
Yeah.
With the WWE schedule that you've had over these last 10 years, I know that you barely have more than 1 or 2 or 3 days off in a row.
I did a run for the longest time. We're back when we kind of bounced over 2 different brands. There was this run where even when we had a brand split, I was doing the Friday live events and continuing through SmackDown, because I was one of those few people that could be in 2 different scenarios with different people, and I was doing 5 nights a week and then flying to the West Coast and out, and I was measuring my time in hours. It was 36 hours, or I have 39 hours at home. Oh, my flight got delayed, so I have 31 hours to get everything done and get back on a plane. And I did that, I want to say, for off and on for 3 or 4 years. And I was able to do it. I was very lucky injury-wise and a bunch of different things. But now we all have a nice 4-day solid schedule. I tend to do other stuff because I don't like sitting at home. So I'll go to New York and do Fox instead, and then bounce right back into our loop, or go do 2 nights in the Carolinas doing comedy shows and go right back into our loop.
So even if you aren't with the WWE or you're on hiatus, you're still going to be working like crazy.
Oh yeah, I don't want to go sit down and relax.
Although this is a very lovely backyard.
My absolute favorite thing to do is when I have 1 day off a week, sit back here and relax and read. And that's without a doubt my favorite thing. But after about a day and a half, I go, all right, time to get to work. So that's why I set up this comedy tour, and the second one is in the works already, just based on the turnout of a handful of these shows. So there'll be 2 or 3 different legs of this tour. The next 11 shows are over the next 3 months or so, a couple a month here and there, and a couple back to back. So it's more and more each day. And Sarah Tiana books the shows for me because she's the traveling pro. She's done all these cities and dealt with all the promoters and things. So she does all the heavy lifting in between. And every other day, she's like, okay, I got these 2 cities and this. Can you be here for this? Can we do this? And we just added a second show here. And it's just really cool to know that so far, even in this snarky world where everyone hates everyone online, even when you like something, you make a sarcastic reference. Every person who has commented or came to one of these shows in real life and saw it was like, oh, I just came to get my action figure signed from 7 years ago. Whoa, that was really funny. I'm like, cool. So it's not, and anyone who's oh, this is a joke, you suck. Like, did you go to the show? Like, oh, no, of course not. And you go, oh, okay. I was like, man, I was curious why you thought that way. So somehow in this snarky world where I do the same thing, it's nothing but a really positive turnout. And I feel like the hard work I put into wrestling, I've put into comedy in this short time.
Yeah.
So it can only get better each rep through.
It's funny, you look at the roast battle that you had on YouTube, and the top comment is, it's crazy that Comedy Central puts him over more than the WWE.
That's the top comment. Was it you?
Yeah, I wish it was me.
Yeah, and Nemeth? Who's that?
Yeah,
That could be anybody.
Wow, that's crazy.
That was such a cool thing to do, by the way. The comment's great, that's fine. But I love when you put where I have to defend WWE. Like, hey man, I've had like all these title shots, all these matches. I finally get a little time to do some other stuff. So they've been great to me, and for years, everything they've asked times 1,000 I've done for them.
Of course.
So I've been putting that money in the bank to keep going and going and going.
Oh,
No big
wow,
deal.
Look at that, wow. So with a maybe slightly lighter schedule, do you have any like personal goals? Like, do you ever plan to get married or have kids or anything like that?
That is at the bottom of a list anywhere, even if that's true. Right. The thing that for about a year now I've been trying to focus on is racking up shows, racking up mic time, getting better at it, doing some more things in LA. My brother and I share a place in Sherman Oaks, and I'll actually be able to go in and out of there as of right now, and just more stage time and mic time, which in turn makes you a better WWE superstar.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I'm pretty good at it now. So, but it's about getting the mic time, getting the views, doing different shows and different things, and just continuing this like sports entertainment thing that I love doing, and it's a new challenge for me.
You know who else lives in Sherman Oaks? John Morrison Mundo.
Oh
Impact,
yeah,
whatever.
my good buddy Johnny Mundo.
Johnny.
I call him Nitro.
Johnny 20 names?
Yeah, I call him Nitro
Oh, you
because
call him Nitro, okay.
that's from the old days.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite opponents of all time. We had a couple back when no one cared too much about the Intercontinental title to give it like not promo time, but we always had like 2 and 3 seg matches all the time and on the weekends. And Nitro and myself, man, it was so fun. He wanted to do the craziest stuff, and he was able to pull it off. So he's still doing it. He looks like $1 million. He does great. Good friend of mine.
What do you think of these comments that Drew McIntyre had recently? That
Uh-oh.
you didn't see this?
I'm not a wrestling fan.
You're not a wrestler? That is
I'm
not
just
true.
kidding, yeah.
That you are a liar.
I can't say that I dug for these comments, but I can't wait to hear what
He
it is.
basically said that you took advantage of the partnership and that you're basically riding off his coattails.
I mean, I guess everything's in perspective. I mean, to be fair, I guess I was the one who worked here, and when he showed up, I brought him into the show. I don't really know how you can take that in
I'm sure
differently.
It was, work.
But, I thought I really enjoyed the partnership we had because we did, like, a bunch of people would ask me before I bury him. I'll get to the good part where he's like, a bunch of people would ask in interviews, like, hey, what's this? And it's like, we both want to get rid of the fat here, trim the fat, and make this people who want to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And when we weren't telling interviews, he was still laser focused, like, we need to get rid of this, we need to do this. And I was like, hell yeah, that's why we gravitated toward each other, like wanting to be the best, and that made it so cool. And then eventually, like, I don't know, the guy's great. He's going to be doing something special probably tomorrow and at WrestleMania, who knows. And so there's nothing really bad to say about that part. But I guess if I took advantage of him, it's because while he was, in our world, not existing for 10 years, I was just kind of putting the show on my back over and over to where you get to a point where they're like, oh yeah, you have lobster every day.
Yeah.
After a week, you're like, this lobster's okay.
Yeah.
After 7 years straight, you're like, bro, enough with the lobster, bring in the hot dog, and then there you have it.
Yeah, well done. That was very
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah, wow, good reference there. We were talking about that earlier. If you eat pizza every day for a year,
Yeah.
and then you walk into a place where there's free pizza, you're like, I don't know, do I really want the pizza?
Even stuffed crust, which is tricky, but yeah.
Stuffed crust. I really liked the run where you were doing other entrances. It was fun.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't? Oh.
I think that's great for someone who wasn't around for 8 years in a row, or if there was here's what I wish we would have done. Tricked people
Yes,
and then done
yeah.
it. For some reason, the idea of that character was like, I've seen that before, is to trick people and go, you idiots, why'd you
Yes,
fall for
yes.
that? That guy's an idiot, here's why. But we went, hi, it's Dolph, be right back, tricked you. Like,
And then
no.
DZ was on the truck.
Yeah, and you go, oh, we didn't trick anybody. You want to get their hopes up because they're cheering for someone based on their entrance, and then you prove the point by coming out. You just did that based on his entrance. They're not better than me.
But everything that led into that was like, hey, I'm a better wrestler than all these people, and you can't seem to see through their flashy entrances and the bright colors. That was all
that
very
base
well
point
done.
I completely agree with, and I think that's great. And you know, I go back and forth to where I am a great wrestler, but I love the pageantry and the sports entertainment part. You know, some of my favorite wrestlers are the ones who are on those lists that the guys at home who are so angry about certain things would be like, I hate these guys. They don't know real wrestling. Like, who cares? Like, so, you know, everybody has a different, like, you could like ground grappling, you know, from the British way of the 1800s, or you could enjoy some fireworks and someone shaking the ropes. You know, everybody's different.
But a lot of those fans are, you know, big fans of your pro wrestling T friends who started up AEW. What are your thoughts on that?
That is fantastic news. Everybody seems like fans at heart that are coming up with everything going into that company. I don't know too much about it, but everything so far shows that they're like trying to give another option for fans who love wrestling, people who want something new. And even if you somehow didn't like them or didn't like the idea or are pro WWE, the fact that this is happening and may create a little back and forth, or some people to step up their game, or some people to have a second place to go when it's not the end all be all, that is so much good for competition and business and all the superstars together already, that if that becomes successful and they're going back and forth, then it's good for everybody, the fans and the wrestlers. And I'm saying it in a regular way, but it's like, this is an awesome thing to happen. And it can only go up and be more positive from here.
But everyone seems to be pointing at you to be their next big signing.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it all times out. It makes sense.
I wouldn't say I would be like a next big signing. I would be like the big signing, I would have to say. Ooh. But, I mean, I have some other things going on at the moment, but, I mean, that should always be an option for anybody, especially someone who, maybe someone like me who's been around a long time. It's like a Drew McIntyre says, I was riding his coattails. Maybe I got to get the hell out of here, you know? So you never know. I think it would be great. I think it'd be a great addition to that company, which seems to be for true wrestlers who love the sport and the business. It's a great idea.
There's all this excitement and talk around a company who has basically just had one press conference and had people sign contracts. We're still 4 months away from actually seeing what they can do.
How cool is that? Without just the buzz and the excitement, because that huge following out there of wrestling and sports entertainment fans, they're so excited, like, look, we can have some other option to check out. It doesn't even have to be competition. It'd be some other show to watch. Like, I love Law & Order, but now I can see Law & Order and Law & Order SVU and the 10 other ones and the Ice-T one, I don't know. But, like, you can have these options because the audience is there and they're excited about it. I think that's fantastic for the business and very much for all the wrestlers.
I'm excited as a fan to see, you know, what ends up happening here, for better or for worse.
Me too. And it's great because sometimes you don't have leverage or options or things. I've had a great relationship with WWE for a very long time. And when I was first here, I was told I was too small and not good enough and all these different things and not a legacy and whatever. And the fact that you can come in and beat John Cena the first day and then start your career and then do okay. But if you can come in as a caddy and get beat up, or a cheerleader with 4 other guys and get beat up by 2 guys for a year and dumped in a trash can like a joke, and then have to come over and go, wow, even without that help, you're still crushing all this, and the reactions there, I don't know that that's ever happened in this business ever. And you could probably do some homework, and I think you'd still lose. And I won't do the homework, but what a crazy thing. And I've just been very lucky with all this hard work. It's gotten me a chance to be awesome at this thing that I happen to love since I was 5 years old.
Is there, like, maybe in some weird world that maybe you've worked too hard?
No.
Maybe you've said yes too many times?
No, I don't think so. I'm not even thinking of a reference right now, but if you're contractually obligated to do something and you say no, you're now breaching that contract. So just remember that part. But no, I would never, like, I've had challenges where it's like, hey, do you think you can do this? Or, hey, this doesn't make sense, but do you think you can help us out? Or, hey, you know this, can you help this guy become this much better? Fine, okay. But at some point, I think what screwed me up is, like, even like The Miz will go do a movie.
Yeah.
Or a Jericho and leave and come back and you get that little fresh jump, or you do something different. If I went to leave to do a movie once for 5 weeks and they still had a commercial of me running on the show, and they had to do updates from the movie set. It's instead of me just disappearing, which would have been 5 weeks, not like 6 months, 5 weeks. And then we did a live event in the middle of my movie shoot where I shot my character doing a scene from the movie and then wrestled in the match. And I go, I can't even I feel bad. People are begging for TV time, and I can't have like 2 TVs off while I'm in Vancouver shooting a movie. So it's an amazing problem to have when people are begging for 30 seconds on Raw. So I never, in a good way, was never injured or long-term or did a surgery or anything to where you got to go, oh, we forgot that we love this guy. Yeah. It's always like I said earlier, the lobster. And I go, and I'm not even not being humble about it. I know I'm good at this job. I'm very lucky that it's the thing that I wanted to do my whole life. But at some point, you need to disappear or repeatedly disappear at intervals. And I've never done that ever. So you got to make them want it. You know, they got to want to see you, not just know that you're in their back pocket to be there.
I heard a great reference that you're kind of like the gatekeeper for the main event.
I don't know. That's a great reference, but
you know,
it makes sense. It's not great. Yeah.
You know what I mean? A mediocre reference, if you will. But it's kind of true. Like if someone wants to get to the main event status, well, you have to put them over.
But I've also said, and I've had this conversation with the boss on many times. I go, if I lose for 6 straight months, as someone's going on to something bigger and better. And then here comes the guy to moving on to bigger and better, and he beats me. He's not beating anyone. And I go, I feel like I should be a 20-time champion, but clearly that's not the case here. At some point, there needs to be some believability, because if I'm just the guy who's the underdog, how am I helping the next guy go on to the next step? I feel like that's not good for me and not good for the person that you have an idea for. So I guarantee you for the last 3-4 years, I've gone hoarse from everything I've had to say, and usually there's some give and take there, which is great. And being around a long time, sometimes I get listened to. So I assure you, anything that you've seen me do that maybe you didn't agree with, I talked it down from something that might have been way worse.
Wow. So what do you say to guys that might be coming up now that are in your similar position, who are working really hard, and that maybe they're smaller than your typical prototypical guys, and they aren't being given this shot? Well, what do you say to them?
I don't know. It really depends. Now, I made a joke for 10 years in a row. They're like, I'm looking to become a wrestler. I'm up and go, what should I do? I go, be tall. And I walk away. But that's not the case. Shorter than me is okay. Daniel Bryan's the world champion or whatever. He's shorter than me and not in as great a shape as I am.
You're not that short, by the way.
Right, but I understand that. And in regular life, I'm a regular-sized person, and I get all that. But at work, unless Rey Mysterio's around, or some people that, I don't know, I haven't watched the show in a few weeks. Yes. Them too. The announcer? And then, but it's like, I don't know, the reason I'm this size kind of made me work harder than some taller people. So I've always enjoyed that part. But it's not about height now, because there's so many different options to be out there. So it really is, you can work as hard as you want. You could be beloved. You can be better than everyone else at your job in 6 of the 7 positions of the job. But if you're not picked for the spot, you either go do something else or deal with it and do it on the weekends and love what you do.
Yeah.
Sucks, but that's show business, man. That's life.
We've talked a lot about a lot of different things.
Yes.
Thank you for everything, by the way.
Oh, yeah. People should thank me more.
Yeah, well, thank you again, then.
Yeah, well, not you. Everybody else.
Anything else you want to add in?
There's a big comedy tour that I've announced on social media a bunch, but in the last, I want to say 72 hours, we've probably booked 8 or 9 more cities and a couple different shows, so it's just going to become more and more, and the turnout has been awesome. And if anybody comes to the show, please feel free, give your feedback, because every rep I get, it's making me better, making the shows better, and the WWE fans' loyalty has been fantastic. I like to joke around with a lot of people, and like I said, snarky stuff online, but the fact that they came out and gave it a try and went, oh, this is funny, is a great start, because when I get 5,000 more reps in, it'll be just like with WWE, where no one can touch me.
Yeah. Nick Nemeth, ladies and gentlemen. Bring it in for the real thing.
Oh, there it is.
Buddy.
Thank you as always. Always a solid interview.
So there you go. We just got back to the hotel after Ubering to Dolph Ziggler's house and then Ubering back down here. Very nice house that Dolph Ziggler has, and very nice backyard as well, which you saw there. And so nice of Dolph Ziggler to not only take the time to do the interview and chat with us, but also to invite us into his house and hang out and do that interview. So I'm going to kind of leave what he said in the interview for you to interpret and appreciate and pull the little nuggets out of it that you want, because he said a lot of things. I mean, I asked him a whole bunch of questions and he gave me a whole bunch of answers. So a big thanks to Dolph Ziggler for taking the time to do that, and the fact that I could text him and say, hey, I'm in town. You live here. Can we do an interview? What's going on? And he said yes. So, huge appreciation for that. Super grateful for that. But I think the bottom line is it's Saturday, January 26th right now. Dolph will not be there tomorrow, Sunday, January 27th at the Royal Rumble. In fact, we might not be seeing Dolph Ziggler on WWE television for quite a while. Maybe never again. I mean, who knows what could happen here. So, once again, he said it all there. You take out of it what you want. But the bottom line is Dolph seems really happy, and he's working on a lot of other things, and I'm super proud of him for that, and I couldn't be happier for him. So there you go. Appreciate you watching. If you don't subscribe already, it'd be awesome. It'd be so awesome if you subscribed so we can get more interviews like this interview at Dolph Ziggler's house in his backyard, or an interview in the back seat of Jericho's car. So please click subscribe right down there. I'll put some other old Dolph Ziggler interviews over here if you want to check him out.